Picture this. Every morning you open Slack and there's a message telling you exactly what changed in your ad account overnight. CPA spiked, you know about it. Spend dropped, you also know about it. Before you even open Ads Manager, you already know if something needs your attention. Every client I work with asks me the same thing. Can you alert me when something goes wrong? Today I'm going to show you how to build exactly that in a couple of minutes using Markifact Workflow or Markifact Agent. Alright, let me show you how this works. So let's create a monitoring system. A lot of agency told me, okay, we would like a system that flags when something is wrong in the account, like cost spiked or a volume of lead dropped to 0 or something happens, because we sometimes don't go every day into the account and we miss time flagging those issues. So I will show you how to create a very simple workflow and how to use agent to be able to do that. So first we'll use the workflows. So before, remember to connect all of your accounts using the connection tab. And then let's create a new workflow. We'll call it monitoring Slack. So the idea of that workflow is that Markifact checks our account. In this example, it's going to be a meta account, and flags if everything changed from one day to the other, and just send a small message in Slack. So when you come to the office in the morning, you can check the Slack messages and see, okay, on my account, the spend dropped from 100 euro to 0, something's wrong. So we want to have a monitoring system in place to do that. Then I just want to show you the idea, the basics on how to do it, so you can customize all the rules to make them yours, because you maybe want to check something else like the CPC or CTR or whatever you want to check. I just want to show you how this works. So we will use the AI Copilot to build the workflow with us. So we'll just voice what we need and work with the agent to finish that. Okay, so we want to create a monitoring system for Meta. So the idea is that Markifact checked the data of my ad account of yesterday and compare it to the day before. I want the AI to check the cost, the results, and the cost per results. If the cost increase or decrease more than 20%, I want the automation to flag it. If my conversion increase or decrease by more than 50%, also flag it. And if the cost per results increase or decrease by plus or minus 50%, also flag that. And when this is done, I want the automation to send a message to Slack in a specific channel at 8 in the morning, so I can check that when I arrive to the office. For the rule system and for the rationale, I don't want to use AI, I want to use a Python node. So the reason why I'm not using an AI to check the data is that Python can do it better than an AI, because the AI sometimes can hallucinate, sometimes can analyze data differently. Python will just compare numbers. You don't have to add AI if you don't actually need AI. And the good thing is that the Copilot can write that Python for you, so you don't even need to know how to write Python code. So let's send the prompt to the Copilot. So the Copilot will check if there is no other template already created that could do the job. And if not, we will start from scratch and building all the nodes. So the agent did the analysis, so it's suggesting ready-made templates. We won't use any ready-made templates, we'll start from scratch. So let's start from scratch. So meta results definition, results conversion, purchase lead, specific custom conversion. So outcome should be results, leads. Comparison, do you mean yesterday versus the same weekday last month, or yesterday versus the previous 30-day average? No. Yesterday versus the previous day. Then the scope, whole ad account per campaign. So we just want campaign level breakdown. So if we have several campaigns, we can see a breakdown. And Slack, which channel, and should it send only when something is flagged or always send a daily summary with flags? So we can say always send a daily summary. If there is nothing to flag, 8 a.m. Europe time zone. There we go. All right, so the agent now has everything it needs. So he's looking into how to schedule, how to get the data from Meta, how to write a Python code node, how to send to Slack. So first he's looking in the Markifact library of all add action and add operation, and then it will start building the workflow. So here's the plan. Daily 8 a.m. trigger, compute data using Python yesterday, day before. Okay, perfect. Get campaign performance, so campaign name, date, cost list, cost per leads, that's perfect. Evaluate the change and build a summary in Python with the different rules that we define, that's perfect. And produce a daily Slack summary and send to Slack. So for the Slack channel, I will just use this one and confirm Markifact profile time zone. We will just confirm this. And for the meta ad account, we'll use this one for the example. So now the agent should have everything it needs to be able to create a workflow, and it should start creating the workflow right under our eyes. So you can see that the agent is creating the different nodes by itself. Once the agent is done, we will review that workflow. We will fix a couple of stuff, and then we will test the workflow to see if it works. So there you go, it's created. So it will get the data and send that to Slack. Something that I will probably ask the agent to change here, if we select a date range and we compare it to the previous day, we don't need to build that Python beforehand. We can just use the compare to. So I will just mention that to the agent. So I don't want a Python node before the meta node. If you select yesterday as a date range in the meta node and you activate the compare toggle, you will already get the data of yesterday and the day before. So you don't need to compute yesterday and the day before with Python. So can you fix that for me, please? And we send the prompt to the agent, so the agent will understand and fix that for us. Sometimes we need to keep things simple and not overcomplicate with code we don't understand. Just use what's already built in Markifact. Copilot finished working and mentioned that he fixed as we requested. So deleted the Python node, modified the meta and the other Python node. Perfect. So let's give it a go. Let's double check. So here it will run every day at 8 a.m. on every day. You can select Saturday and Sunday, for example. Here you see that the account is the correct one. Date range yesterday compared to previous period. That's perfect. For the metrics, we have cost leads, cost per lead, everything we asked, campaign name, and then a limit. All right, that's perfect. And then it's sending all that information into the Python node. So yesterday date, account name, all output from the meta node. And then it wrote Python to make all the comparison of the data, the calculation, and preparing a message to Slack. Final node here, received the information from the Python node and send that to my Slack. So I will actually send that to the AFM Energy so it's in the right place. All right, it's ready to go. I will just show you how to run it node by node to verify that it works. So if you want to check only up to this point, you can click here on the 3 dots and run node just there. So we'll first test the meta. Okay, unsupported request. It doesn't find the correct account. So you can either click here and have Copilot fix it for you, or I can do it here myself and select the add account myself. There we go. And I can run the node. So now it's working. So you see we have data for the 8th of April and the 7th of April. So that's perfect. Now we will save and run the Python node to see if it works when the data comes from the meta node to the Python, if the Python actually works. We will run the node. And so we get a message here, daily monitor, no material change detected, cost -20, leads, so everything seems in place, no big problem. And now we can send here, we can try run node and it will send to Slack, but you understand how it works. I don't need to show you guys. So let's say now that you want to change those parameters. You don't want 20% or 50%. You want, let's say, 80% difference before it flags it. How you can do it, it's very easy. You open back the Copilot, you select the Python node here, and you just ask the agent to modify it for you. So I want to modify the rationale, I want to modify the rules, I want to flag it when it changes by more than 10% and not 50%. Can you adapt? And by selecting that specific node, the agent knows that it's this one that you mentioned, so it's easier for him to modify. So you can see here, it's updating the rules in Python. So the logic is changed. Okay, so if there is a variation -10%, it will flag and not 50%. So this is fixed here in the Python node. Don't forget to save. Next step for you is to activate the workflow. If you don't activate the workflow, it won't run daily. Okay, so you don't forget to activate the workflow. So there you go. This is the first way of creating a very simple monitoring system using Markifact and send everything to Slack daily. The second way of creating a monitoring system is by using the AI agents. So if you click on an AI agent, you can, as you know, chat with the agent, or you can ask him, for example, give me a quick report of the numbers of yesterday versus the day before. And the AI will analyze the two sets of data and tell you what changed. But what you can do as well is to create a scheduled task inside an agent. So let's say that we want to create a scheduled task here to do the same monitoring system we just did with a workflow. We can create a new task, and we will create a new task with AI. So AI will walk us through create that task. So help me create a scheduled task too, and then we will just voice. I want to compare the data of yesterday versus the day before for my meta ad account AFM Energy. If the cost leads or cost per leads increase or decrease more than 10%, I want you to send a message in Slack to flag it. And I want this scheduled task to run daily at 9 a.m. So I want to do the same thing, just with an agent and not with a workflow. So let's see how the agent handles that. Okay, so the agent checked how we can get the information that we ask. So how we can get from this ad account the cost lead and cost per lead yesterday versus the day before, and how to send that to Slack. So when it has all the information it needs, he's just asking us for one last detail, like on which channel. So let's say this one. I set up a daily 9 schedule for this specific. So he understood perfectly what we ask. And so now we just answer with the Slack channel, and he will create the scheduled task for us. So it's slightly similar to workflow. The difference is that in the workflow, it's nodes working after each other, always in the same order with Python. So it's always the same calculation. Here, it's basically daily. The agent will prompt itself to do that specific action, and it will explain itself how it does it every day. So it would be like, if I need to summarize this, it would be like writing a big prompt for the agent so he knows how to do the task, and then the agents just run that prompt daily. All right, a scheduled task created. So correct ad account, yesterday versus day before. Send Slack message if something happens in that specific Slack channel, and daily at 9. So there you go. This is how it works. Scheduled task is saved right there. You can see here it's created. So if you go back to scheduled task, you can now see that this is created. So you can deactivate or you can activate. And if you need to modify it, you can just click on it and you can change the parameter. And as I mentioned, you see it's just a prompt explaining how to pull the data, what to compare, and what to do, basically. Explaining also the rationale. So this is a prompt, and same stuff, you can also change the date and everything. So this is how it works. This is how you can create a monitoring system using the agent. So you have workflow or you have the agent, and both can do the same job. And both can help you monitor your campaigns and account way more efficiently.
And that's it. Now you have a system that monitors your accounts for you and pings you in Slack when something is off. You set it up once, you forget about it, and it just works in the background. If you want to use the same workflow, link is in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I see you in the next one. And as I always say, happy automating, everyone.